Hey Internet, how's it going? Eric Schmiel here. It's been a while. The Schmiel Show, another video, a real video, me talking to you, not just talking about video games, although I am here to talk to you about video games somewhat. I've been putting off making a video for a long time. I mean, I shot a thing here and there, and I always wanted to come back. YouTube's always never been too far from my mind. But I kept thinking I need to make like an update video explaining everything I've been up to since I've posted a video, and as time has gone on, there's been more and more to cover in that, and it's gotten to such a terminal point, it's like, why even bother trying? It'd be too much stuff to do. That being said, I am still broke, still trying to get like a legit career going, but I'm very close. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm starting to focus more on Twitch. That's not the career. Not doing a career Twitch streaming. That's not on the cards for me. But it does tie into what I'm pursuing right now. I've been trying to build my programming skills so I can get a job in the industry doing web development. And I've been making a lot of progress. I've learned a lot of stuff. And I wish I fully understood how much I would need to know to get into web development when I started, but it's been a very roundabout path to this point to begin with, so maybe it wouldn't have helped that much. But there's just been so much stuff you need to know to build a website, and it's been so long, but it's just taken that much time to learn all of it, and I still don't know all of it. I still need to learn about unit testing, and what's the other thing? Oh, I gotta get TypeScript down. That's the thing. With web development, to build a modern web page, you need to know so many libraries and frameworks and different kinds of technologies. Over the last year, I picked up HTML and CSS, of course, but like also I had to learn how to write in SQL and work with databases. And not just work with databases, since I'm building my own project from scratch, I need to learn how to design a database so that it's flexible and can last a long time and kind of be built in a way that it would be on a professional project. Once I learned how to design a database, I'm using Postgres, so I had to learn how to write Postgres' version of SQL. And then I had to learn how to deploy that database, which is now on Amazon Web Services. So that was a whole thing, learning how to deploy a database in addition to designing a database and write code that speaks to a database. I then had to think of like, how do I write code for my actual application that talks to the database that's now deployed? And in order to write code that actually talks to the database and sends the SQL messages, then I had to learn some kind of back-end language. So I chose to learn Node.js, but Node.js by itself is pretty low level. So I had to learn a framework on top of Node.js called Express that makes working with Node.js easier. And then I had to not only know how to write in Express and understand Express, I had to learn how to design the software in a way that it can communicate with the database in a flexible way that's not going to like be some kludgy thing that's going to break as soon as you try to be a little more complicated with it or try to expand it. So I had to learn how to like basically create a DAL, a data access layer with data access objects and data transport objects. I also had to learn how to do logins, which required me to learn another framework called Passport, which then I had to learn how sessions work, which meant learning how cookies work, because cookies are used to keep track of the session for that individual user, so multiple people can be logged in but not using the same local memory. So that local memory is like localized to the particular session. It's been a long list of crap. I had to learn how to use React.js, which is another framework for building user interfaces. It's been a long time. I'm getting so close to the finish line. And that is why I'm focusing on Twitch streaming. Because my big capstone project, my big portfolio piece that shows I can build a complicated piece of software that basically solves the problems that you would find in a business application, it ties to Twitch. What I'm building is, I guess, on the face of it, a simple application. Under the hood, enormously complicated for me personally. It's more complicated than anything I've ever built. But that's also why I've learned so much building it. I've been calling it the SMT, the Social Media Toggle. It's an application that basically just allows you to toggle tweets on and off. On my end, I have a database. You write your tweets ahead of time. You give the tweet a title so you can keep the tweets organized within the SMT system. You write the text of the tweet. You have to link your Twitter account to the SMT account so it knows what Twitter account to post the tweet to. And then you can make up multiple tweets in advance, and they all have a little toggle button. All you do is you click the toggle button, it posts the tweet to Twitter, and then you click the toggle button off, and then it deletes the tweet from Twitter. It's fairly simple. It's very much like an MVP, right? I'm very much focusing on a minimum viable project. It doesn't have images yet. That's something I'll extend it to do later. That's partially why I've had this kind of focus on learning how to design software to be extensible and flexible and modifiable into the future. So, like, because I've done my homework with that, I feel pretty confident that it won't be too difficult to add more functionality. And I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll talk about additional functionality I want to add to it a little bit more in the future. So, why make an application that toggles tweets on and off? It kind of ties into my history of making content for the internet. And promotion is a large part of making content for the internet. If you make something, you want people to see it. I believe marketing is in the interest of anyone that has something they want people to see. And that very much applies to artists. During my time with YouTube, I not only just made the YouTube videos, I did want people to see them. So I spent a lot of time learning how to get the word out about my videos and learning a lot about how to promote stuff on social media, because when you're broke a second, you don't get a budget, like social media opens up, it makes things possible, right? Although I don't have any money to pay for print advertising or bus ads or billboards or anything like that, and that all would be a giant waste of money for the low quality stuff I'm doing. Despite not having any resources for that, we still have an avenue to get the word out. There's still hope to have some kind of marketing effort at all, because we live in 2020, we live in a social media world. It enables that, it makes that possible. And so I learned a lot about that stuff over the course of making photography and video and games and all kinds of weird stuff. And I genuinely kind of enjoy it. It feels good to have something you want to get the word out about. I almost enjoy that more than actually making the things. And so I'm building a tool that helps with that. Now, why would you want to toggle tweet on and off? Well, it has to do with live streaming. Because one thing people often do when they are going live on whether they're Twitch streaming or streaming on YouTube or streaming here on Facebook, or I guess you might be seeing this on Facebook, you might be seeing this on YouTube, I'll be posting it wherever, is that, once they start streaming, they put out a notification to let people know they're streaming. The problem is when you make a tweet that says, or the problem in general, no matter where you're putting the notification up is that link, that notice has a very short time frame. As soon as you're not streaming anymore, you have to go back and you got to clean all that up, or you should, because otherwise there's the chance that people will see your notices in the future. Let's say if they click this notice and the stream's dead, you're down, you're not even online anymore. What the person realized is that they gave you the generosity of their time. They said, hey, I want to check out what this person's doing. They click the link, they go there, and they're punished for it. There's like, oh, there's nothing here. I gave the person my time, and in return they've given me nothing. And so they might start to internalize that these links aren't worth clicking on in the future. The first time it was busted, they click on it late a second time, they're going to think, oh, it's busted again. You don't want to train people to expect your links to be dead and worthless. So you want to clean up after yourself. And the toggle button makes that simple. It makes that management simple. Also, I think it's very important when using social media to be a practitioner. People want to talk to actual human beings. They don't want someone that's going to spam them. And that means keeping your I guess your social feeds organic, full of like real content, your actual thoughts. You have to be someone who's actually using Twitter, not just using Twitter, right? To take advantage of Twitter. So if someone comes to your Twitter page, they want to check it out, and all you have is just a giant list of like stream notifications, spam posts, people are going to see that and they're just going to be like, oh, I don't want to follow this. All the dude's going to do is just spam me about when they're going live. They're not actually going to be tweeting interesting tweets. And since I'm a Twitter user on Twitter, I want to use Twitter to do Twitter things and then get interesting insights and see memes and all that stuff. What you're producing here with this giant just landfill of dead link notifications, That doesn't provide any of that value. That's not why I'm on Twitter. Not for this. So I think it's helpful and important to basically kind of prune your social media feeds almost like a tree or something like that. When it starts getting overgrown, you don't want to become overgrown and nasty. You got to take care of it. And that's where the social media toggle comes into play. That's where it helps. So I'm really relying heavily on this thing to, I guess, take me to the next stage of my life. Because although it is kind of like a fun project, it has to do with, media and stuff like that. All the things I've done to build this are things I would do on a professional project for, say, like working on a banking website or working on like some kind of shopping platform online. A lot of the tools are the same that I'm building this. I've learned how to talk to REST services. That's a big thing. I built my own REST service because my front-end application and my back-end application are two different programs that work together to create a singular experience. My front-end talks to my back-end through a bunch of endpoints I've set up that other programs can tap to get information from the internal system. Any company that builds some kind of website, some kind of web service that needs to be that other services need to interact with, they need something like that. They need someone to hook up endpoints. I'm removing and updating information in databases. A banking site relies on databases, right? Your bank account number sits in a database somewhere, along with like your user account information. I built a login system that allows you to log in and out of an application and have only the information that's relevant to that user show up for that user, and only allow the user that can access that information access it. Like only the person that's authorized to change that information can change it, right? These are skills that are needed in a professional capacity on a lot of business applications. And I've learned how to do that in the course of building this SMT, the social media toggle. Now, the reason why I'm streaming on Twitch is because Now the reason I'm starting to focus more on streaming on Twitch is because I think it's very important that if you're going to build a tool, it's important. Just like if you want to promote on social media, you should be a practitioner. Like you should be someone that uses that social media platform as a kind of like someone who is just like a standard user, right? That makes you like a real person on the platform. I feel like there's a lot to be gained by being a practitioner in live streaming if I'm going to build a tool for live streamers. And already I've got a whole bunch of ideas for like things to add to this. Things that like I really want a lot more than just toggling tweets on and off. Streaming on Twitch has already like told me that the thing I really want more than anything is just a button that'll change the title of my Twitch feed, of my Twitch channel. I'm sorry, not my channel. I guess to change the title of my Twitch stream, right? And I want it to change when I'm changing games that I'm streaming. So right now my general streaming schedule is like I play like an hour of Doom 2, 1993. Not Doom 2, the original Doom. I play like an hour of that. I play like one run on Hades, which is like 40 minutes. And then if there's time, I might do some Dragon Quest. Beyond that, when I'm not streaming games, I like to stream photo editing, and I also like to stream programming from time to time because it helps me stay on task. And I find a lot of value in explaining the problem that I'm working on out loud as I work on it. I'm hoping it's going to help me communicate about technical problems with other team members in a professional capacity down the road. So I do all kinds of different streaming, and every time I want to switch the thing I'm streaming on, I have to change all my Twitch metadata. I have to come up with some title that's appropriate for that thing that's streaming. So that when someone's browsing through the list of streams for like Doom or whatever, they know what this stream is specifically about. And so if I have a title that says, hey, we're playing through episode 2 of Doom 1993, and someone clicks on that and they see I'm streaming Hades, there's very much this reaction of like, what the heck? I thought we were going to watch some Doom. It would be so much better just to like toggle a button that just switches the name of the Twitch stream. Instead of having to pause the stream, say, hey, hold on guys, I gotta think of some kind of title for the stream right now that's hopefully eye-catching and will get someone intrigued enough to click on the thing, right? Give some kind of value proposition that'll appeal to a random passerby. Let me think of this real quick. And then not only switching the title, but also one, switching the text, the text description of the stream. I guess that part's not so important. But a big thing is the category. You also have to switch the category, right? Say now I'm doing the art and technology category, so then my stream will pop up in the feed for people looking for folks that are doing live art, or saying I'm working in the science technology category for people looking for programmers, doing a live feed of programmers, right? So you got to change that too. And if I could just change that all with the tap of the button, that right there would be really helpful. So like getting that kind of insight into what would be helpful and what streamers would actually find helpful, that's why I want to focus more on Twitch. And also beyond that, it's going to give me a personal stake in the project, which I think will help me maintain motivation. It'll keep me excited about what I'm doing. And the more excited about the project I am on, the thing that is going to basically make my resume and stand as the shining example of, hey, I don't have a computer science degree, but I can still build you a website and I can put the proof physically in your hand, so to speak. That is what's going to actually get me a job in the industry. And so that's why I need to finish this thing, and having a direct personal stake for like wanting to use the tool I'm building rather than having it be a purely academic exercise, I think is just going to keep us motivated all the more to see it to the end. We're so close. I'm hoping I can have this thing built and ready to show to potential employers within the next 2 weeks. I said that at the start of this week, but there were some delays. That's kind of seems to be the running theme with software development, is that like you'll get surprised by what's going to hold you up. Some things will take much longer than you realize, and that's kind of what happened this week. But I think I can get the rest of the functionality implemented by the end of the week, and then give myself another week for polish. It probably won't be ready to officially deploy yet, because I want to make sure I have security best practices in place and understood well before I put it out there on the internet for public use. Because the last thing I want is that, a lot of people really do depend on Twitter for their livelihood, for their professional health. Artists find a lot of work through Twitter because someone sees some work they've done and say, hey, could you do that for me? Right? All that stuff. So I think it's very important to take security seriously when it comes to someone trusting you with access to their social media account. And they do have to authorize the application if it's going to operate their Twitter account on their behalf. I want to make sure that's solid before just putting that out there. So I don't know if I'll actually release it publicly in that capacity rather than just like this testing thing that sits there to exist. I'd like to get to that point, but it's just going to take more time. But anyways, I'm very much coming to the end on this. I'm very excited, and I'm going to have to start putting my resume out there in shortly. Yeah. But anyways, so all this is to say, I'm not really focusing on YouTube right now. I still want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to y'all in a casual capacity. And still, if I can just do a quick vlog like this from time to time, that'd be nice, because I loved YouTube. YouTube meant a lot to me. YouTube was a big part of my life for a very long time, and encompassed a lot of my ambitions, a lot of my energies, a lot of what I was focusing on mentally. And beyond just YouTube, but also just filmmaking in general. And to still be able to do these casual vlogs that are kind of what helped me fall in love with the medium to begin with, to still have a toe there and still have some kind of presence on YouTube, that I don't know. That'd be nice to me. I'd like to still be here. But most of my energy is going to be on Twitch. So if you want to hang out with me while I'm live streaming, I've been doing it most nights, but I don't really have a schedule. But I'll leave a link down there where you can find my Twitch account and you can follow it. If you don't want to have a Twitch account and follow people on Twitch, you could follow me on Twitter, or where I'll be posting like notifications where like, hey guys, I'm going live. Hence the social media toggle I'm developing. Facebook and Instagram are a little bit rougher to that. I don't think they really suit themselves appropriately to notifications like that. For example, they don't even offer any kind of ability to delete a post through their API. So toggling just simply isn't an option for them. So I don't really even bother with notices. But yeah, I've also been debating about whether or not I should be posting stream highlights here, because I don't want to spam y'all with just a bunch of junky things. But I do try to get clips that I can post on Twitter for people that aren't necessarily... It's kind of like a hard pitch to be like, hey, I'm just some random guy playing video games. Come hang out. But if I can pull out like 3 minutes of value that's hopefully interesting to someone, they see that, that's much more of a pitch to like come check out the stream. Because like if they enjoyed that, it's kind of like, hey, you like that? There's more where that came from, hopefully. Come check out the stream. So I've been cutting those things out. I've been thinking about posting them here on the YouTube channel also to just kind of can have a continuous presence here a little bit, but also because like I already did the work to cut it out and find it, and it's there. So I might try to like limit that to just like once a week or something like that. I hope that's not spammy to you fine YouTube folks. I hope you don't mind that. Also the Facebook folks, because I'm posting this on Facebook now too. Yeah, so I'll be doing that. And I hope you want to hang out with me on the internet some more. Godspeed, Eric Schmiel here, hanging out, having a good time, and I hope to be back on ye old YouTubes, talking about stuff, keeping it chill. Because when you keep it chill, you can actually finish and make things. Otherwise, I get stressed out and I get like overwhelmed by like, oh my god, it's going to be so much work. I don't have time to do all that work. I guess I just won't do the work. Oh, I do want to give two little announcements. What's the... I know a British guy watches this, and I hope I didn't offend you deeply, but I don't remember which one's bad. But at least take my feelings to mitigate the interpretation of such symbology. Two little announcements. RVA Game Jams has a digital working title coming up this week on Wednesday. A bunch of people are going to be hanging out, working on personal projects in the RVA Discord. I'll go ahead and post a link to the Discord down there if you want to hang out on this digital co-working event. I think it's like 6 o'clock or something like that, but the details should be on the Discord itself. So I'll leave a link down there. And also, Ludum Dare is happening this upcoming weekend. Very exciting. Ludum Dare is one of the two major kinds of jams that RVA Game Jams participates in. Unfortunately, they only do 2 Ludum Dares a year now. Sorry. 2 Ludum Dares a year now. And it's this weekend, so it's a 48-hour game jam. Basically, you got 48 hours to make a game from quote-unquote scratch. I'm going to try to participate in it. Actually, I'm going to probably splurge a little bit on my quote-unquote work time during this quarantine period, because I've been using the quarantine to focus on building this portfolio piece. I might splurge a little bit to try to learn some 3D graphics. I kind of got demolished on the last Ludum Dare trying to build a single model in 3D graphics for the first time, and all I did was just shatter it because I was using some weird tool that did not play nice with the rest of the process, apparently. So I'm going to be trying to focus on that. And if I can get like a 3D guy just walking around and like moving according to buttons, I'm going to call that a success. If you want to hop on and try to make something cool this weekend, by all means, join us in the Discord. And I look forward to seeing everyone's games after the jam next week. Thanks for stopping in, spending a little time with your old pal Schmiel. I hope to see you more in the future, and you can always find me in the drift. Good night, farewell. Good night again.